So the King's German Legion have decided to come out of the building and they're moving into the orchard to take these guys outside the gate in the flank as well. That'll probably take a couple of turns if indeed the battle lasts that long, because now in the centre the First Foot Guards have moved up to enfilade that French column. The Brunswickers are in action, but the Dragoons and that centre French column could still punch a way through there. They had good dice rolls last time. And if the guard at the far end, who will be coming out of square and forming up into column again, can get there in time, they may just be able to sway some action on the French behalf on the far end of the field. But will they get there in time, and will there be forces still fighting by the time they get there? It may be too little too late, as they were too busy with the hussars. But who can say? Let's see what happens in the centre. All the Scots Greys have now taken those guys in the rear, which I would have thought means that they can't fight back. So let's take the Scots Greys first. They get 2 hits. And that's 1 casualty. One, 2, 3. That's 1. 1. Highlanders, 1, 2, 3. That's 1, 2. Brunswickers, 1, 2. And that's 1 more hit. The FX French haven't taken a lot of casualties, there's still quite a large unit there. Okay, 1. Say 3 on the Dragoons. That's 1 hit. 1 hit on the Dragoons. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nothing. 1, 2 hits. Artillery. Get 5. And that's 2 hits on the Imperial Guard. lucky. So now for the French turn. So, artillery fire. Seven dice against the farmhouse. Two hits, they're under cover, so we round that down to one. And the assault at the gate. Four dice, d10s. Two misses, one hit. And the Imperial Guard are going to form up and move in. Come out of square, takes one turn, but they're ready to move next turn if there's any point. So, in the centre, 1, 2, 3 against the Highlanders again. Two misses, two more misses. That should have been three, but all missed. The centre column, 3 hits on the Brunswickers. That's 1, 2. Brunswickers have now lost 7. Dragoons to hit the Brunswickers, they've got 1, 2, 3. That's 1, 2. Another 2 Brunswickers down. We've now lost 9. And 3 attacks here on the Lincolnshires at the far end. That's a 1, 2. Lincolnshires go. And that's all the French moves. So now it's the turn of the British. So back to the farm. Six, it's still 6, so 6 possible hits on the French attackers. That's 2. Nothing. 3. They lose another 3. So they're being rapidly thinned down. They're outnumbered now. And into the centre. Scots Greys go in from the rear, so they should get a bonus anyway, so I'd have thought. Usually it's a 6, but they're elite, which means it's a 5, which means if they're also from the rear that should be 4s. And that's a 5 and a 10 anyway, so that's another 2 gone. Then we have the foot guards from the side. 1, 2, 3 more hits. 1 hit. 1 more hit. So they are now down to under 50% strength. They're getting close to 70%, 75% strength left. The Highlanders get 3 hits. That's 1. That's 2. Another 2 down. The French centre column. 2 dice for the Brunswickers. That's 1 hit. And these guys can actually have 1 shot as well. And that's another 1. Now then, on the Dragoons we have 1, 2, 3. That's 1. That's 2. 2 more Dragoons gone. We've now got 6 men left. And they've lost 11. Couple more and they're off. And on the final French column, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. That's 2, 3, 4. And the artillery gets 5 shots at the Imperial Guard. All missed. Lucky for the Guard. Okay, French move. Scots Greys. 1 casualty. The foot guards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 1. That's 2. 2. So another 2 gone. Highlanders 1, 2, 3. That's 1. 1. 2 misses. Brunswickers 1, 2 on the centre column, 2 hits. Brunswickers on the dragoons, that's 1, 2, 3. That's 2 hits, 3 hits, oh, 2 hits. And I think that means the dragoons have now got to quit the field because they have lost 75%, so they're out. And the final, the French column. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shots from the Lincolnshires. 2 misses, 1 hit. 2 hits. French move. Well, all that can move really are the Imperial Guard. So, artillery fire, will it carry the French into the fortress, into the farmhouse? Seven dice. And they get 1 hit. Their assault, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We could get lucky and get 5, but let's see. Well, there's 1, 2, 2. Centre. What's left of it? Three hits on the Highlanders, still taking the punishment. That's 1. That's 2. one hit on the reserves, which is a hit. Two hits on the Brunswickers. That's another Brunswicker gone. They've been hitting, taking casualties every round. And the remnants of the final French column, with the Imperial Guard moving in. Three on the Lincolnshires, that's 2, 3. So the Lincolnshire's down to 3 companies. British moves. So, the Dragoons have left a gap there in the centre that the Brunswickers have now moved around to enfilade the French column there. Highlanders still holding on, only just. If they lose another 3 men, they're out. In fact, if they lose another 2 men, no, if they lose another 4 men, the Highlanders have to run. But they are being helped by the 1st Foot and the Scots Guards, Scots Greys. And the KGL have come out of the house and are starting to move. And could either scare off the cannon or take the guys at the gate. The cannon aren't doing that much damage, so it might be an idea to get the guys at the gate and make those run. Because the Gloucesters are losing men hand over fist at the moment, so I think we need the help. So, let's do the British artillery first, who can't see anyone, so they don't fire. Actually, no, they can hit one of the French there, because they can just see them at the end. against the guard. And that's one hit. And two against the French column, and they both miss. So that's the artillery round done. So back to the fight in the farmhouse. This is now reaching its denouement. We've got 4 hits from the Gloucesters now. They're down to 4 when they used to have 6. They managed to get 2 straight away. 3. Those guys are out of range. So now what could be a cataclysmic fight in the centre. Scots Greys coming first because they're attacking from the rear, and they get another casualty. Take off 3, put back 2. First foot, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 1. 2. 2 more losses there, and they are out, and the Highlanders could do it right now. 1, they've got 2 dice. And they get 1. So the French are still fighting there, but 1 more man and they're off. The Essex guys, still plenty of men there. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see, 5 from the Brunswickers and the reserves. That's 1, 2, 2. The FX guys are still looking in good shape actually. And now the Lincolnshires are looking very suspect. They get 4 shots on the French. That's 1, 2 casualties. 2 more and they are off, but they're still in there. Oops. And the guard could change that over there. So, French move. We're going to take three shots at the guys coming out of the orchard, and they all miss, and that leaves 4 at the guys in the farmhouse, and they all missed too, so rather rubbish shooting from the artillery. That leaves the guys assaulting the gate. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're down to 4. And that's 2 more clusters go in the centre. One hit on the Highlanders, and that's a miss. Three on the Brunswickers, and that's 1, 2. Now, at the far end, Le Garde arrivé. So they get 3 against the Lincolnshires. That's 1 hit. 2. And 2 hits from the French column, and that's another 2 off. Lincolnshire's still a fair force, but they are outnumbered now. So, British artillery. They can throw 6. And they're all complete misses. So, British movement. imposters fight back. I've only got 3 dice now. That's 1 hit, 2 hits. Those guys have moved, so shouldn't really be able to fire, as they've gone through hedges and stuff, so I'll leave that. Okay, the centre battle. Scots Greaves again. 1 casualty and these guys are gone. And they get 2. So they're effectively finished. 3 shots from the foot guards are more or less clear. That's 2 more casualties, 3 more casualties. Leaves them with 2 men. They're out of it. And the Highlanders, 1, 2. Can they get the final 2? They get 1 of them, but they're gone anyway. They're dead and out of it. Lincolnshires. Three dice. That's 2 more casualties for the final column, but that's still not got them down to 75%. So, French. Seven shots on the KGL, who've just come out now into the open, and they get 1 hit. Three dice at the wall. That's 1 hit, 2 hits. In the centre, well, there's only 1 unit left now, and that's the Ethics guys. Who still have a lot of strength, but have 4 units attacking them. That's 2 more losses for the Brunswickers. And finally, on the French right flank, 3 hits from the guard. And there's only 1 dice left for the remains of the column, and that's a hit as well. So the Lincolnshires are within 4 men of having to leave the field. But that will probably leave not a lot left now anyway. Okay, British move. KGL finally joined the action. Completely fresh unit, not been involved at all apart from 1 shot I think they had. 1, 2, 3. That's 1. Actually that's none at all. And that misses as well. So stunning stuff from the KGL. 3 shots from the Gloucesters, that's 2 misses, 3 misses. In the centre. Those Frenchies are dead meat. Let's give the Scots Greys first bite and they get 2 hits. Two shots from the Highlanders, and that's another casualty. That's 2, 3 hits. And from the Brunswicks, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 2, 3. They are now in serious trouble, and the miniatures get 2 shots on the French. And 1 hop is enough to send them scuttling away. Which just leaves the guard. So, French move. The guard have to go in. So let's start over at that end anyway. 3 attacks from the guard. 2 misses. One hit. 3 hits from the centre, that's 1 hit. 2 hits. And at the farmhouse we have the artillery firing on the KGL. All misses. There really has been some poor artillery. But 3 more hits at the gate. That's 2. And that was basically the French attack. That was pretty quick. So now the British attack. Nobody really needs to move apart from the Scots Greys moving in. Foot will attempt to get to the Imperial Guard. So let's start at the gate again, and 1, 2 dice from the Gloucesters. That's one more French casualty. KGL. I'm going to have to move into line. Would get 3 shots. That's one. One more. In the centre. Hits for the Scots-Galleries, which is 2 hits. Highlanders get 2 more shots. And that's another casualty. Reserve 2 shots, and that also is 2 more casualties. And 4 from the Brunswickers, which could spell the end of this particular unit. That's 1. That's 2, and basically they're down to 6. They're out of it. And finally 2 hits on the Imperial Guard from the Lincolnshires, which is 1 more Imperial Guard casualty. And now finally the Imperial Guard get to go again. 3 dice. That's 1. 1 casualty for the Lincolnshires. We're still holding out. One hit for the centre, and they do get another casualty off the British. That's their final throw, because effectively they're out. And I think you'd say that that is game over for the French. Because they're not going to take the fortress, the farmhouse. They're going to have to retreat with their artillery or lose them. So I think it's time for the Guard to retreat, the artillery to retreat, and what's left of the final assault on the farmhouse to retreat as well. So basically most of the damage was done in the centre, with the Highlanders holding on perfectly. As they were the first unit to be engaged as well in the centre anyway, so they have done remarkably well to hang on in there, although they did have support, but there you go. At the far end, the artillery did some damage. The Hussars did their work against the cuirassiers and kept that unit of Imperial Guard back long enough for that flank to hold out. And here, the French came pretty close to breaking in. The KGL didn't really do a lot. The rocket troops were fairly ineffective. So, because the forces were even, I think that's why the British won, because they had a much stronger position. But even then, it looked a bit dicey in the centre there for a while. But I think we'll call that, because the centre here is completely devoid of French troops now, and there's still lots of British troops milling around there that can gleefully move in to dispatch the Imperial Guard in another couple of rounds. I think we have to call it a day. Okay. Nice to see all my troops finally in action after 2 years, more or less, of painting. And I think I've done quite a lot of work there. Okay, that's it.